What happened when the brightest stars of the silver screen found themselves part of stories that still defy explanation? Today, we're diving into the fascinating cases of 10 Golden Age icons whose lives and sometimes even deaths are surrounded by bizarre coincidences that puzzle us even now. Number 1. James Dean. James embodied the rebellious spirit of young America in the 1950s, instantly becoming a cultural icon. But his fame was cut tragically short at just 24 years old when his beloved Porsche 550 Spider, nicknamed Little Bastard, crashed and killed him in 1955. Here's where it gets spooky. After the crash, Little Bastard seemed to leave a trail of disaster wherever it went. The wreckage was sold for parts and display, but every single person involved with the car experienced misfortune. From mysterious injuries to more fatal accidents, many began to believe the car carried a curse. While Dean's tragic death remains a heartbreaking loss to Hollywood, the eerie aftermath involving his Porsche has turned his story into one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in the history of the film industry. Was it bad luck or something far stranger? No matter what you believe, Dean's legacy lives on, not just for his unforgettable roles, but for a bizarre string of coincidences even Hollywood's best writers couldn't make up. Number 2. Carole Lombard. Carole, one of the most beloved actresses of the 1930s, was known for her comedic brilliance and beauty. She was also married to Hollywood heavyweight Clark Gable, making them a true power couple of their time. But tragedy struck in 1942 when Lombard boarded a flight back to California after a war bond tour. The plane crashed, killing everyone on board. Here's the haunting part. Just days before the crash, Lombard had joked with a friend about how she was destined to die young and beautiful. The eerie accuracy of her comment left those who knew her shaken, and many began to wonder if Lombard somehow sensed her fate. Today, her death is remembered as one of Hollywood's most haunting tragedies. Though her career ended far too soon, her humor, grace, and sudden passing make Carole Lombard an enduring figure whose life and death still hold a strange, chilling allure. Number 3. Jayne Mansfield. Jayne, with her blonde hair and bombshell looks, was often compared to Marilyn Monroe during her time in the spotlight. Tragically, her life came to a shocking end in 1967 in a catastrophic car accident that decapitated several passengers, including her. But what makes her story even stranger is the urban legend surrounding it. Rumors spread that Mansfield had been cursed by Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, whom she had reportedly been connected with. While the truth about LaVey's supposed influence remains unproven, the strange circumstances of her death fueled whispers of supernatural involvement. The timing of her passing, along with photos taken just weeks prior where she smiled next to LaVey, created an eerie narrative that lingers to this day. Mansfield's death not only ended a blossoming career, but also solidified her as one of Hollywood's most mysterious and controversial icons. Number 4. Natalie Wood. A child star turned Hollywood darling, Natalie's career spanned decades, but her tragic death in 1981 is what has captivated people for years. While on a yacht trip with her husband, actor Robert Wagner, and co-star Christopher Walken, Wood mysteriously drowned in the waters near Catalina Island. The circumstances were hazy at best. Wood was afraid of water, yet she supposedly left the yacht alone late at night. Adding to the mystery, stories of an argument between Wagner and Walken circulated, sparking endless speculation. Was it an accident, foul play, or just an unfortunate sequence of events? No one knows for sure, and Wood's sudden death remains one of cinema's most chilling unsolved mysteries, adding a darker element to her glittering legacy. Number 5. Thelma Todd. The ice cream blonde of the 1920s and 1930s, Thelma was a comedic star beloved by audiences. Her shocking death in 1935, though, stunned Hollywood. Todd was found in her car parked in a garage, having apparently died from carbon monoxide poisoning. But the bizarre details of her death have kept people guessing for years. Todd had no reason to park in that garage, and some believe she was a victim of foul play, given her rumored ties to mob figures and a turbulent love life. Her death remains officially ruled as an accident, but the odd facts surrounding her final moments have cemented her as one of Hollywood's most intriguing unsolved mysteries. Did she know too much? Or was it simply a case of bad timing? The truth behind Thelma Todd's death may never come out, But her story is just another example of how the Golden Age wasn't always so golden. Number 6. Rudolph Valentino. Rudolph was the original on-screen heartthrob. In the 1920s, his stunning looks and captivating performances in films like The Sheik made him one of Hollywood's first sex symbols. But in 1926, tragedy struck, shocked the world, and fans everywhere went into mourning. Thousands attended his funeral, with some women reportedly fainting during the processions. What happened after his death, though, made his story even stranger. Shortly after Valentino was buried, a mysterious woman dressed entirely in black began visiting his grave every year, leaving a single red rose. Her identity remained a secret, fueling wild speculation. Was she a love-struck fan or someone who knew Valentino personally? Over time, other ladies in black began showing up as well, turning what had originally been a quiet act into a famous Hollywood tradition. Even now, decades later, people still speculate about who the original Lady in Black truly was. Rudolph Valentino became more than a matinee idol. He became a Hollywood mystery whose legend remains alive to this day. Number 7. Peg Entwistle. Peg's life has become one of the saddest and most haunting tales from Hollywood's golden age. She dreamed of fame and success, but after struggling to land roles and facing personal setbacks, Peg fell into despair. Her story took a tragic turn in 1932 when she climbed the iconic Hollywood sign and jumped to her death from the letter H. She left behind a heartbreaking suicide note, explaining how she had lost all hope. What makes Peg's story even more eerie is what happened afterward. Just days after her death, a letter arrived at her home, offering her a role in a movie. The role, chillingly, was about a woman who struggles deeply with depression before rising to success. For Peg, it would have been the big break she had been waiting for. Her tragic timing has forever tied her story to the darker side of Hollywood, where ambition and heartbreak can collide. Today, people still claim to see her ghost near the Hollywood sign, adding a final haunting note to the legacy of Peg Entwistle, the Hollywood sign girl. Number 8. Charlie Chaplin. Chaplin's life was already larger than life. Known worldwide as the Tramp, Chaplin was one of the most influential filmmakers and comedic actors Hollywood has ever seen. Even after his career slowed down, Chaplin remained a prominent figure all the way until his death in 1977 at the age of 88. But Chaplin's story didn't end there. Just 2 months after his death, his grave was robbed. Thieves dug up his body in Switzerland and held it for ransom, demanding money from Chaplin's family. This bizarre posthumous crime made headlines worldwide. A frantic manhunt ensued, and months later, police finally tracked down the criminals. Chaplin's body was recovered and reburied, but his family had learned from the ordeal. This time, they buried him in a new grave, surrounded by cement to prevent anything like this from happening again. Even in death, Chaplin's life remained a Hollywood story filled with twists, intrigue, and unexpected drama. Number 9. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn was Hollywood's ultimate bombshell, stunningly gorgeous, immensely talented, and captivating in every sense of the word. By the early 1960s, she had become a cultural icon, with fans all over the globe, but her life behind the camera was far from perfect. On August 5, 1962, she was found dead in her Los Angeles home at just 36 years old. While her death was officially ruled a likely suicide caused by an overdose, the circumstances surrounding it remain one of Hollywood's most shocking unsolved mysteries. Marilyn's close ties to President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert fueled conspiracy theories, with many believing that she knew confidential information others wanted to keep buried. Inconsistent reports about when her body was discovered, rumors of tampered evidence, and conflicting witness statements only added to the speculation. Was her death a tragic accident or something more sinister? To this day, no one knows for sure. Marilyn Monroe's life burned brightly, but her death cast a dark shadow over Hollywood, one that still leaves fans asking questions decades later. Number 10. Howard Hughes. Howard was the ultimate eccentric genius, a filmmaker, aviation pioneer, and billionaire whose life was anything but ordinary. In the early 20th century, Hughes dominated Hollywood with groundbreaking productions like Hell's Angels, while building an empire of wealth and innovation. But beneath his extraordinary achievements lay a troubled mind. Hughes's paranoia, strange behavior, and extreme isolation later in life created tales as bizarre as any movie plot. Hughes survived multiple near-death experiences, including plane crashes that left him horrifically injured. These accidents only added to his reclusive tendencies. He spent his final years holed up in hotel rooms, diving into obsessive habits such as repeatedly watching the same films or handwriting bizarre memos to his staff. He became a shadow of his former self, reportedly afraid of germs to the point of extreme measures like wearing tissue boxes as shoes. Even after his death in 1976, disputes over his fortune and the lack of an official will caused chaos among his heirs. Hughes's life was both extraordinary and haunting, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance mixed with mystery. These stories prove that even Hollywood's most glittering stars weren't immune to life's eerie twists and turns. But this is far from the end of Hollywood's dark secrets. If you're eager to learn more, check out our video about Hollywood actors who struggled with mental health. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories from behind the scenes of Tinseltown. See you in the next one.